Hello बच्चों. So in this continuation of the series of Samajh Ke Rato, I thought I should show you some clinical cases that are there in my clinic, but they teach us a lot. A lot of the times, clinical questions come from such cases that we often see in our OPDs. So in the first part of this SKR series called What is the Problem, I'm going to show you 4 cases and you will help me come to the diagnosis. So starting with the first case, this 8-year-old boy has come to my clinic saying that there is pain in the maxilla, pain in the upper jaw in this region since around 2 to 3 months. When seeing directly, when seeing straight, there is not much of a problem. Yes, I do see there is something swollen here, but I cannot really appreciate the extent of the problem. So I look at him from bottom, which is known as the worm's view. I look at him from the bottom and I can see that, oh, the right and the left are definitely not in symmetry. Okay, there is some problem here. Okay, similarly, when I see it from the bird's eye view from the top, I can see the asymmetry, that there is some swelling here and flatness here. So facial asymmetry is the first clinical feature I observe externally on inspection. Then intraorally, when I see this and I correlate that, oh, there is some swelling here in this region, how does it look intraorally? So when I look intraorally, yes, there is some sort of an expansion of this region which doesn't look very normal or healthy to me. So I send the patient for an OPG. And what I see in the OPG is this. Alright. Now, of course, it's an 8-year-old child, so there has to be a mixed dentition. It's a small child, so you can see that the ears are also there in the OPG. It is there in that trough in which the x-ray is taken. And if I see the mandible, so that is how you see an OPG. You start tracing. So you trace the mandible. This looks okay. This looks okay. Everything is normal. Condyles are okay. Coronoids are okay. Teeth according to the age are okay. So mandible is okay. And anyways, our deformity is in the maxilla. So I start tracing the maxilla. Okay, this is the tuberosity. These are the sinuses looking normal. Teeth. This is normal, this is normal, this is normal, but there is something wrong in this region. Okay, why? Because the canines erupt like this. If you see, the canine of this side, it is rightly erupting like this. But the canine of the left side, because I can see here L is written, the canine of the left side is kind of placed high up. And near the canine, I can see an abnormal radiolucency, which is this. Okay, does it look solid? Does it look fluid filled? Difficult to say. Unless you aspirate, you will not be able to say. But what is obvious is that it is a radiolucency. It could be a tumor like AOT, which is commonly present in anterior maxilla. It could be an OKC. It could be a dentigerous cyst. It could be an ameloblastoma also. Okay, so what will be my next step? My next step after this OPG will be first to send the child for a CT scan, so that I know the extent. Okay, now from here, how much it is kind of encroaching, and there is some radiolucency here also. So is it really encroaching the orbit? What is the antero-posterior extent of the disease? Because here I can see only mediolateral extent and superior-inferior extent to a very gross method. I cannot see the depth of penetration of the pathology. So I order a CT scan. Along with that, the clinical next step will be aspiration. I try and aspirate. I put 2 wide gauge syringes. I aspirate from one and I see if there is some fluid coming. Luckily for this boy, there was straw colored fluid which made me happy, which confirmed that, oh, it could be a cyst, because there is a straw colored, golden colored fluid, which is typical is of the odontogenic cysts like dentigerous cysts. Okay, so the next step was, after the CT scan, what did it show? Okay, so this is the transverse or the axial CT. Axial CT face. Why axial? Because it is taken along the long axis of the face. You've cut it axially from anterior to posterior. So you can see that this is the normal maxillary sinus, whereas on the left side, the maxillary sinus black shadow is not there. It is rather replaced by some mass or some fluid. So this is where CT is so helpful to us. Now in the OPG we saw left to right extent, top to bottom extent, whereas in this axial CT you can see the antero-posterior or the depth of the disease, depth of the pathology. So I know it is extending from the anterior border of maxilla and going almost up to the mid maxilla or even posterior. Almost the whole depth of the sinus is involved. Also I can see, so as you go back, you take different slices, you see that, oh, this canine is associated with the pathology. So maybe the lining of that canine tooth is the origin of that cyst. Similarly, I take a sagittal section. Okay, so the radiologist gives me the look of the pathology in all the three planes. So you can see that this is a sagittal section or an antero-posterior section. In this also, I can very nicely appreciate that, oh, it is a very well corticated. There is some resorption on the palatal side, okay, because there is no bone, not much bone seen here, but very well corticated expansion. You can see how like a balloon the maxilla has expanded. So what I can appreciate here is expansion of bone, cortication. So these are all signs of a cyst. Okay, expansion can be seen in a tumor also, but tumor will not cause much of a cortication. It is an infiltrative pathology. So cortication with expansion, typical of a cyst. Alright. So this is the broad final. I say, okay, my cyst is from this point to this point antero-posteriorly. It is superior inferiorly. It has these dimensions. The CT will also give you the dimensions. The report of the CT will also give you the exact measurement. So I know my superior inferior margins, my anterior-posterior margins, and in the coronal view here, I can see my mediolateral margins also, with how many teeth are associated. So there was a canine and an unerupted premolar associated, which you can appreciate here in this region. So 2 teeth are associated with it, and most likely the canine is the pathology causing this cyst. Alright, so now I know how much big is the disease. So I will decide whether I want to take the patient to a GA, to an OT, or whether it is small enough that I can manage it under local anesthesia. Since it was an 8-year-old child, along with the aspiration after the CT, the next step for definitive diagnosis is biopsy. Alright, so when I have the CT, when I have the dimensions, now I know aspirate has given me a fluid. So I am assuming my clinical diagnosis is that this could be a cyst. Before taking the patient for the final surgery, I have to be very sure that it is a cyst. So what I will do an incisional biopsy. I do an incisional biopsy. I confirm the report comes out to be a dentigerous cyst. What is the differential? What else could it be? It could be an AOC, an AOT, an ameloblastoma, a CGCG. So many things could be there. Okay, but now I am sure after the histological report that it is a dentigerous cyst. When we combine the different views of the CT, what we get is a 3D CT. Okay, it is not the ultimate, but sometimes it helps to explain the patient the extent of the disease. So here you can see that all in the palatal view that this much bone is actually resorbed, right? So it kind of helps you in the diagnosis, but that's not the only thing you should see. You should see the slices also. So we take the patient to GA, we intubate the patient orally because it's a maxillary surgery, put the throat back, open up the cyst, you enucleate the cyst in one go. You enucleate the cyst. I enucleated the cyst. I removed the causative tooth, which is the third, which is the canine tooth in that region. Also, a premolar and unerupted premolar, which was lying here, was removed. Yes, they are permanent teeth. Could there be a way to salvage them? No, because the canine was lying too high, and even open packing would have taken very long and it would be unpredictable. So we decided with the consent of the parents that we will remove these 2 teeth, permanent teeth, and we will enucleate the whole cyst. So this is the first case wherein step by step you know how a clinical examination, a radiographic examination, an aspirate, that is a clinical investigation, a biopsy, an incisional biopsy, which is a histological investigation, help you to come to a diagnosis of a case, and how that diagnosis helps you to decide your treatment plan. If the same cyst would have been, say, a 2 centimeter cyst, maybe I wouldn't have taken the child to GA, I would have done it under LA, or maybe I would have tried to save the tooth. So, radiology, histology, and clinical examination together help you decide the treatment plan also, and help you to check the prognosis of the case. So, after 5 years, so yearly, I will do an OPG to see if there is a recurrence or not. Okay, so it will help me check whether it is coming back, whether suppose it would be and it had been a tumor. So I will have to be really careful that it should not be recurrent, it should not come back. So every year I will take an X-ray to check whether it is coming back or not. Alright, so this is the first case of our series called What is the Problem? I hope you liked it. You can put your comments in the comment box. So you've guessed the pathology, it is dentigerous cyst. Thank you so much. Do let me know how you like these cases so I can discuss more such cases with all of you.